All right, here we go. Welcome back to the weekly SKTLs community call. This isn't just our regular call this week. This is exciting. So, this week we're actually announcing the winners of the space debris cleanup applications. And Cody Willard, we're going to turn it over to you a little bit later, but let's just have a soft open. We'll get some viewers in here. I think we can have some guests that are coming up in the chat. Just we typically chat some space debris or space news. Obviously, most of the show is going to be about these winners, but we had some relevant earnings yesterday with Rocket Lab. You want to touch on that before we get to the good stuff?
Sure. They looked good. I mean, they slightly beat the top line estimates, and Bryce, correct me if I'm wrong, they also slightly beat the earnings losses. I mean, they're not making money yet, but they beat the bottom line estimates too. Look, Rocket Lab is, as we've discussed ad nauseum on these calls, it's unique in not quite unique, but it is one of a very few exclusive, maybe less than a handful of companies that are successfully doing launches right now and sending satellites into orbit for people. SpaceX, obviously, the big one. But, even Blue Origin's on hiatus as they're figuring out what went wrong with one of their rockets several months ago. Has it been a year now, Dan, since Blue Origin's done a launch? Just about.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah.
When you're not doing anything.
Astra, obviously, is not launching and is in trouble. And I don't think they'll survive, as I've talked about before. But yeah, Rocket Lab's earnings were fine. The launch cadence that they're doing, they're supposed to do 15 launches this year. They've done 5 so far, which means they're going to have to pick up the cadence a little bit. But, they've done 5 in 5 months. That gets you 6 maybe at the end of this month. That'll be 6 in 5 months. And then they'll need 9 more in the next 7 months. They did do a turnaround of less than 2 weeks or right at 2 weeks on one of their launches recently. So they should be able to pull it off if the weather willing and all of that stuff. Dan, you have any other comments on that?
No, I think that covers it. It's all gonna, all of these cadences are carefully laid out. It just takes one delay, God forbid an accident, and then the whole thing's out the window. So, and keep in mind that, that cadence of X number in a 6 or 12 month period, when you compare it to where the industry wants to be, where SpaceX already is today, where it's almost a daily occurrence now that there's a launch, and that there's projected to be dozens of launches by SpaceX in a single day, every day, at some point in the not too distant future. There's a lot of pressure on the launch industry, no doubt about it. But everybody's running at their own speed. And at some point, everybody gets to that critical mass where they're launching enough to where the revenue numbers are going to really start to spike. And it's a hockey stick, like any other industry. It's going to be a hockey stick. There's going to be a liftoff that says, okay, we trust them. They're dependable. They're consistent. And boom, then they get booked.
Liftoff, pun intended.
Pun intended. That's right.
We have so many puns in space. It's so much fun. As a dad, I enjoy the bad puns in general. So the space puns make me happy. Yes. Speaking of the cadence and the advancement of space, let's hit on real quick. Piper called me up earlier. He was doing the monthly totaling the monthly successful space events. That is how we mine tokens in the SKTL world here. And you realize that they sent a satellite towards Jupiter this month, and it successfully launched and is now going around the Earth a couple of times on its way to Jupiter. That we are counting as one. If we send a satellite around another planet, not Earth, we mine 1 million tokens for it. And we did a little debating on whether it counts that it is actually a successful space event already if it's not yet to Jupiter. But I think in the interest of excitement about this whole thing, and about the fact that it did successfully get through the space debris field and is now in orbit around Earth on its way to Jupiter, it's all but successful at this point. We're going to go ahead and mine the 1 million tokens for that. And then there were several other launches and satellites sent up around Earth. It should be a really exciting month of mining of the tokens. Let me remind everybody the whole point of the SKTL space debris token. And then we'll bring in the guests that we have this week, all of whom are guests this week are recipients of some of this award. So to rewind, everybody on here has probably heard this a million times because they helped us build this idea. But those of you who have not, let me just review for you. There will be 300 million tokens, SKTL tokens in total, ever mined. On the first day last year, on Space Day, we launched the tokens, pun intended. We airdropped, not pun intended, 100 million tokens to anybody who registered. There were about 3,000 people who registered. Everybody got about 35,000 tokens for airdropping for free. There were no founders tokens. There's no other pools of tokens, but 2. One of them was on the same day that we dropped 100 million tokens to everybody who registered. We dropped 100 million tokens into a fund that 10% of which every year donates. That fund donates 10% of its SKTL tokens every year to 5 different entities focused on cleaning up space debris. So there were 100 million tokens put into that fund that first day. As I mentioned earlier in this call, once a month, we do awards for successful space events. So if you're an early adopter, if you're an early owner of the SKTL token, every time there's a space event, we mine more tokens. You're able to go receive them. And it's basically how more liquidity is printed. There's been about 10 million tokens printed this year. We'll do another million something this month. So it'll be about 11 million tokens put into that space fund in addition to the 100 million that was there the first day. So we have about 111 million tokens that will be 10% of which will be awarded. So everyone on this call is going to get about 2.2 million tokens. The winners on this call will get 2.1 or so million tokens. The token is currently trading for about 7 or 8 cents. So it's about, call it almost $20,000 worth of tokens that they're receiving. There are no restrictions on the tokens. There is not a whole lot of liquidity. So if they went to go try and blow out the winners, if they try to go blow out of these tokens tomorrow, they will make the SKTL token price go down. I am hoping and believing that, like us here on the call, those winners are going to believe in the SKTL mission and probably aren't going to blow out of them. They certainly can, though. It's no problem. They can take $10,000 that they'll end up getting out of it, or thereabouts, 15,000, whatever the liquidity allows for them, and put that in their balance sheet to help run their company that is dedicated to cleaning up space debris. So, more power to them. We believe in the free market around here, and we're not controlling any of it. So that is the scoop. That's the whole process. That's why we're here today. It is very exciting. I put on a suit, even got a pocket handkerchief in there, tied myself up. I even did my hair. I mean, this is a very exciting. I almost put on a tuxedo. Should have done a tuxedo. I'm thinking about it.
That would
really
have
been fun.
Yeah,
I'm doing that next year. Next year, I'm doing a tuxedo, man. I'm doing that. That's a great idea. All right, let's run through the winners.
You want to bring in everybody from the green room, or
bring in everybody from the green room, and I'll start talking.
All right, this is about as a packed weekly call as we've had. So let's welcome Josh. Let's welcome Ubaldo. Let's welcome Gary. Let's welcome Kevin. Let's welcome Chris. What's going on, everybody?
Hello and welcome, everybody. Congratulations.
Well, hello.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to see some familiar faces.
Yeah, very cool. Yes. I haven't seen Gary in a while.
Hi, Cody. Man.
Yeah. And Josh, we need a favicon if nothing else.
Sounds like he's on the road.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll get something going for you guys. Thank you for having me here, though. I'll
Great
get
to
something
have
up
you.
in just a second.
So let's say hello to
he's on a
everybody.
mission.
I'll run through. We got Sis Lunar from Sis Lunar. We got Ubaldo and Gary. Welcome to you both. Ubaldo, will you say your last name?
Sure, it's Cimignetti or Cimignetti if we're in Italy, and you got to do the Cimignetti.
Very good. I like it very much.
That's right.
Gary Palman. Did I say Palman right?
You got it right.
Beautiful. Both of you guys are from Sis Lunar. We've had Gary on this SKTLs Weekly Volunteers call maybe a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a big year.
Yeah, and they've done a lot. They've checked a lot of milestones along the year. They partnered with NASA on several different projects. We'll let them tell more about it here in a second. We got Kevin Stratnick from Obruta. And did I say Stratnick right?
Stadnick.
Oh, it's Stadnick.
There's no R.
Stadnick.
Threw an R in there.
So I'm glad I asked. What nationality is Stadnick?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Clearly, Cimignetti, I'm assuming, is Italian. All right.
Via Kansas.
Via Kansas. That's great. Josh from Rogue and Chris. Josh, we don't have your last name. Chris, what's Josh's last name?
Bartnicki?
Bartnicki.
I also have it. It is Josh Bartnicki, yeah.
Nice to have you both here.
Thank you, Chris. Of course.
I got you, brother. Stay focused on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you got a Tesla driving you, and then I'm not worried about it.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, that is correct. It is not quite 5.9s reliable yet. All right, look. So we also have two other winners that are companies that have going to win some of this award. They're not on the call. We invited everybody last minute yesterday because we're all volunteers and we're totally unorganized. And I keep trying to get Cabana to take over the CEO ship or something, and he won't. What? We need a CEO. We're a volunteers group, and I'm like de facto leader of it. But whatever,
It's a
it'd be
shame.
great to have some real organization.
It's a shame, Cabana, with all the money that Cody's paying for this too.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Should probably disclaim that, by the way.
No money. Changing.
No money.
There is nothing. I'm not making a dime out of this, and I'm not paying anybody a dime
Hence
out of
the
it.
word
But we
volunteer.
are doing
Yes.
the awards. I mean, and that is the whole point. It is very exciting that a year ago we created a space debris cleaning token, a cryptocurrency token dedicated to cleaning up space debris, with the idea that early adopters and space enthusiasts would buy the tokens and set a value, and then we could donate funds, tokens that then can be turned into dollars if you want, but funds to winners who are dedicated to cleaning up space debris. And guess what? A year later, we are doing that. There were $100,000 worth of awards being given out today, and I'm thrilled to do it. So let's just start. Let me list the winners. Cabana, if you want, I'll share my screen here.
Yep.
And I'll just show everybody the spreadsheet that has the winners on it. Got to go back to the window where you are and hit share. Present.
Yep.
Share screen. SKTL space debris. So the winners. What we also should have had? I should have Bryce here at my office with me. He could have brought me the envelopes, and we could have been like,
Like the Academy
the
Award.
best space debris DAO organization. It's Space Rocks.
Nice.
Adam has actually been on these calls with us before. I wish he were here again today. We'll have him back maybe next week. Again, we were last minute notifying everybody. I get rid of. There we go. Space Rocks DAO's mission is to support sustainable space. Specifically, one project they are working on now is called SatHawk, and it aims to be a decentralized satellite tracker to help mitigate debris in space. There are other companies doing similar things to this. They did not show up or they didn't win this, but Space Rocks DAO did. Great to have you here, Space Rocks. There is a spacerocks.org. You guys can go there and learn more about the company. The other 4 that have won here, energybrokers.com. Please check it out. I guess I could go to the website and read what they do. The Energy Brokers, we'll have to figure out how that fits into the space debris solutions. Cis Lunar, you guys, I'm going to let you tell us about yourselves. Rogue, I'm going to let you. And Obroda, we're going to let you. You guys are all 3 here. You'll do a much better job informing us about your companies than I will off of here. Stop the share screen. Let's start with Gary and Ubaldo from Cis Lunar, because they're on my left, and I'm not going in any particular order, but first one on there was that. So Ubaldo, Gary, take it away. Spend 5 or 10 minutes telling us about the company, and congratulations on your award.
Yeah, thanks, Cody. Appreciate the award. We're a space technology company. We're developing technology to process metal in space. Think of us as the steel mills for the next industrial revolution in space, which we think is already ongoing at the moment, just kicking off. But not just steel. We steel all kinds of metals, really. But what that enables us to do in the context of space debris is to create the capability to actually recycle and use space debris as a resource. If we think about we sort of fit in the middle of the value chain for space resources, which is kind of fundamental to humanity being able to expand off of Earth. We are right in the middle of that value chain, from extraction to manufacturing. And if you want to take those, all the various feedstocks you can and turn them into something that manufacturers can use, you need that processor in the middle. That's where we sit. And for space debris is one of those feedstocks. In fact, we think it's probably the first one we can use. And what we're imagining there, getting support from NASA for our metal processing technology. We're getting support from the Space Force. Recently, we just won a Directed Phase 2 Space Force contract. We just won a contract from the ISS National Lab to demonstrate this on the space station. So we're on a roll here. Space Force wants us to basically show that we can turn space debris into metal rods like this that can be used as propellant in a vacuum arc thruster system that Neumann Space produces. And that allows us to create a metal ecosystem or a propellant refueling ecosystem based on metal propellant derived from recycled space debris. So we're partnered with Astroscale, Neumann Space, Sierra Space on that one, and CSU. And anyway, so that's our place. We're turning space debris into something valuable and kind of closing the business case loop on space debris by taking it from a cleanup site, sort of what I think of as like right now it's kind of like what do you call those Superfund sites. It has to be government funded the whole time, and turning it into a mining operation because we can turn that stuff into something valuable that can be used downstream for this industrial economy that's emerging.
Very cool. It's one of the reasons we decided to make the space debris focus of our token instead of just a space token or something was because it's very hard to figure out an economic incentive to clean up space debris. It's as Gary mentions, it's like, it's tragedy of the commons is the term for it in economics. And it's like a park where everybody goes. And if the government doesn't take care of the park, then who does? Everybody likes to use the park, but nobody wants to clean up the dog poop. And you got to. And space debris, I guess, is the dog poop in this scenario. Chris, and that was a terrible segue. I should get another.
Let's go to Chris.
Space is awesome. Now let's go over and shift gears to Rogue Space Systems. Chris Banks and Josh. Remind me the last name.
Josh Bartnicki. I'm changing it right now.
All right. Chris and Josh, tell us, one of you, please spend 5 or 10 minutes telling us about Rogue. Again, Jeremy Grimmett, the CEO, founder of Rogue, has been on our call maybe a month ago or so and talked about the company. But, you guys have now, congratulations on the win, and tell everybody again what this company does.
Sure. So Rogue Space Systems, founded back in 2020, right at the start of the pandemic, right? So everything's shutting down, and we really want to make space sustainable. And the only way that we can really do that is if we have some sort of orbital or in-space service and manufacturing capability. And we're going to do that through autonomous orbots. What is an orbot? It's an orbital robot that actually can work on other satellites. It'll have end effectors. It will be able to do close proximity operations. Our first iteration of that, we've already integrated and is prepared. I don't know if we're allowed to say which launch we're on yet, but we're already leading that way. Last year, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had 13 STTRs, or 11 of them 11 of them approved, and then one SBIR out of that. So we had a really successful phase 1 iteration.
Chris, you got to tell people what STTR and S.
Oh yeah, so they're technology transfers with.
Tell us what those are.
Yeah, those are technology transfer contracts, research contracts with Space Force, with AFWorks and SpaceWorks. So we had such an incredible round with that. Feasibility studies have gone through, and we've submitted multiple phase 2s with them as well. I'm sure we'll be hearing back from them soon on that, since submissions were not too long ago.
Cool.
But yeah, that's where we're heading. We've got a lot of customers that we're in talks with right now for actual in-space service and manufacturing, but we can't really talk about too much of that yet. Josh, do you have anything you want to add on the fin? So I myself am a program manager. Josh works over in data and fin business ops, so he might be able to.
Yeah, Josh, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, Chris really covered the prime business operations there, and that's the Orbot is really the crown jewel of what Rogue does. When we're looking at a big level here, one of the problems we face with space debris is the fact that there's so much stuff that eventually will generate space debris in its own. It turns into garbage or breaks, or something happens that takes the satellite that served a function, and now it's space debris. So one of the nice things about what Rogue Space Systems mission is that we extend the life of a satellite that currently exists, and we increase the uptime of these things, reducing space debris by kind of preventing it in the first place. So it's a really cool concept and mission we have there, and super applicable to this group.
Excellent.
And Cody, might I add also that that Rogue Space has the robotics side and the collection side to extend the life of these spacecraft. And we need companies like Rogue to bring us those materials. So it's a nice complementary fit here.
Yeah, in 10 years, the consolidation that will happen in this industry will, of course, be amazing. And for all we know, Rogue and Cislunar will do like a merger with shareholder approval after they're both publicly traded companies 7 years from now. It'll be a $28 billion company buying a $22 billion company, and all of the early shareholders are high-fiving each other. God bless. I hope that's true.
This is being recorded, right?
It is. It's going out on YouTube. Yes.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cody's building the book right now.
Yeah. I got the vision, guys. Just follow along.
Need another disclaimer.
I'll introduce you guys to the investment bankers next week. It's all good to go.
No
all right.
forward-looking comments.
This is a much better segue this time. Kevin Stradnick from Abruta will be valued with tens of billions of dollars in about 5 to 10 years also.
Nice. Not financial advice.
And the winner of the tethered net debris solution goes to Abruta. Kevin Stradnick, please come up and receive your award and tell us about give your congratulations speech.
Kevin, you need to change the spelling of your name, I think.
Yeah, it's not working out.
Oh my God.
No, thanks, Cody. Thanks,
So
David.
sorry.
Yeah, Abruta, we founded the company based on master's research that myself and my co-founder did all the way back in 2017 and all the way through 2019. And we realized that, we had a best-in-class method of capturing and deorbiting space debris. And so we founded Abruta in 2019 with the idea of creating a space debris removal company. But we quickly learned that, as you mentioned, there isn't much, there aren't many paying customers out there. So we eventually pivoted the company to some of our other strengths, which is software for autonomy, specifically rendezvous, prox ops, and docking of spacecraft. And what we're doing now is really powering all of these companies doing satellite servicing, logistics, and space debris removal in the market. So companies who, they might have a vehicle and they're buying components like a propulsion system and the computers. They can also buy the prox ops system from us and provide that end service to their end customer. So whether it's refueling spacecraft, removing space debris, or just extending the life of everyone else in orbit, we're there every step of the way powering their vehicles. And yeah, we already have interest from a large portion of the industry. So we're hoping to be up and operating in the next year or two here.
Very exciting. And thank you to each of the winners for number one showing the ones who did show up today, and thank you to everybody who applied for the award. And this has been a learning process. This is obviously the first time we're doing all of this. You're going to need to work with us. Daniel Ng is our chief technology genius, and he's the one who built the token and knows how to not manipulate, but run the whole behind the scenes stuff that happens. And he will be in touch. We'll be in touch. Bryce and is Joe Volpe? Did I see his name pop through here earlier?
He was earlier, but yeah.
So Bryce and Joe will be in touch with you guys, and Daniel will implement the award being sent to a wallet of your choice, and we'll even show you how to get the wallet if you don't have one. But we're here to help, and it's not like we send you the award and never talk to you again. We certainly would love to see you guys back here this time next year to give us an update. Matter of fact, now that I'm thinking of it, why don't we request it? Look, you guys have got a captive audience of technology investors / space enthusiasts who watch these calls and come to these meetings. Why don't you come back in 3 months and give us an update every quarter, maybe this year, and love to have you talk some.
Yeah, we're in.
And then for sure this time next year, come back and tell us how everything's gone, and then apply for the awards again next year. It's a free market. There are no restrictions once you win the award from applying next year, much less what you do with the tokens once you get them.
I just want to add one thing. Knowing these companies from varying distances as I do, what the audience should understand is that these are truly special companies in this new space economy. There's thousands of companies out there, but these three have gone from a standing start to where they are now in a very short period of time. And it speaks to, those of us who grew up in the investment industry know that if a company's not public and you invest in the company, you're investing in the management. The product and the pitch deck are nice, but you're buying the management. And what you have here are three really solid examples of well-led and well-managed young companies. And that's why they've gone as far as they have this quickly. But keep an eye on them, because they are going to be massive players in this new economy. And, we can all say we knew them when, but I couldn't be happier for them for where they are and how fast the success is happening. It's not luck. It's not, something that just happened and boy, they got lucky with winning some grant money. They earned what they have, and just hats off to them for the job they're doing.
Yeah, amen. Thank you, Dan. And that's right. I mean, you guys have been here for, again, like if you recall Gary giving a presentation to us a year ago, This company was, it was already moving along, but it was in idea phase in many ways. And now he's got contracts and partners and business lines and employees and I mean, and Rogue is the same sort of thing. I mean, it just since I met Jeremy, 6 months ago, the company's growing, and Kevin Stadnick. I got it.
Hey.
It's the Obruta. It's the R's after the Obruta in there. Anyway, Kevin, you guys have not been here before, correct?
No, I think we popped in once, but typically this is late for me in the day, so I haven't been able to make too many. I'm up in Canada, kind of over on the East Coast, Central East Coast time.
Okay, all right. Well, we appreciate you coming here, and please come back and tell us more about the company. We, maybe in the next month or so, even in the next few weeks, you'll schedule with Bryce. Why don't you? We'll focus on your company for one whole call, like we've done with both Rogue and Cislunar in the past. I think that's one of the things that people love about these calls as much as anything is when we have one of these startup companies come in and we just for 15, 20, 30 minutes listen to them give a presentation about their ideas and or what they're actually doing.
Kevin's down east.
Yeah, happy to come chat.
Be great.
We'll get a time to hear.
All right. Well, anything else? Any other comments or questions? Congratulations to the winners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the volunteers, all of you guys who have been here from the beginning and or along the way here, your time and energy and expertise has resulted in a 6-figure day of awards. I mean, holy crap, that's very exciting. We really did have an idea, and a year later, we're giving awards of meaningful value. So, I'd love to write a check for $25,000 to some of these startups and I end up running out of money. But hey, we'll give you guys an award worth $25,000 and you use that and keep going. Even if we don't get, for the record, we're getting no equity or anything like that. It's a hands-off, full award grant. It's, quid pro quo. No, it's giving it away.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for being here.
Cody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Titles team along the way. We'll see you guys this time. Same bat channel, same bat place next week. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on go to SKTLS.com to learn more about the mission, the tokens, and to find our Discord channel and all the other places you can follow us. Thank you so much.
There you go.
Sounds good.